Welcome. Hello and welcome to Visual Basic Programming, and we will be focusing on console programming. So let us get started. What we'll be covering, what is our learning objectives for this small YouTube video is the following. That is, we'll be getting started with how to install and run a program in Visual Basic. What are variables, constants, and data types in Visual Basic? How to accept a user input after we have displayed an output? How to add comments in Visual Basic? How to do calculations? What is selection? What are the different ways that we can do selection? What is iteration? Okay, so I will be breaking this YouTube video on Visual Basic Programming into two parts. The first part will be covering these topics, and just to give you a small teaser, the second part will be covering other topics like array, data type, user-defined data types, sets, string manipulation, subroutines and procedures, variable scope, functions, error handling, using text files, binary files, CSV files, and we'll be having a look at the different DB functions in the part 2 of the video. But let us now get started with the introduction. So let us continue with the introduction part, that is Visual Basic Console Programming, and I wish to highlight that we'll be focusing on creating these types of programs that will help you with your O-level computer science or even A-level computer science programming part. So this is a screenshot of the console program that you will be developing. That is, you will be writing code so that the output will be displayed in this type of screen. So let us get started with the introduction part, which is how to download and install Visual Basic on your computer. So you need to go on google.com. You need to go on the Google search engine, and then you type install Visual Studio. Then you hit on download Visual Studio. And then you hit on the free download of Visual Studio. You just click on free download, and then the installer will ask you to save a file. You just save the file, and then you run the setup program run, where you will be do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes. So now you will get the installer. This takes a little bit of time. Then the installer will propose you what are the different language that you wish to install on your computer, on your laptop, on your PC, whichever you're using, running Windows. So here I am running Windows 10 on my laptop, and the installer here gives me a screen that, okay, I want to install. What do I want to install? So you always what bundle, what workload you wish to install on your computer. So what I do is I select it's not web and cloud, it's desktop and mobile. It's not mobile. Voila, it's .NET desktop environment, that is built console application using C#, Visual Basic, F#. So we are interested to build console application on Visual Basic. Okay, these we don't select the workload. We are not interested for gaming for now, and all these we are not interested. And then you hit on install. Okay, then the Visual Studio will install, and then I will just open it and show it to you after that it has been installed. Then I click on start. I go into my computer, I click on start. And then Visual Studio. Then it loads. And this is the screen that appears, Visual Studio. Then I click on create new project. So what do you want to create? You want to create a console application. You come on Visual Basic console application. Next. So here you will be able to create a project for command line application that can run on .NET Core, Windows, Linux, and macOS. So we are using Windows platform. We are using a Windows, not a Linux, not a Mac. So we want our application that will be written in Visual Basic. You can see a small icon of Visual VB here. We want that the code that we will write will execute on a Windows operating system. So the configure your new project panel asks you to give the my first project, for example. Next, you just click on create. And here you are, you have the Visual Basic programming interface ready before you, where on the right you can see there is a Solution Explorer. This is Solution Explorer. You can see that you have created my first project, and in my first project you have a file, a module called program.vb, where here you can start to write your code. Okay, and you can see that it starts with import line, the first line. Then on the third line there's module program, then line 7 and module. Then here it is the main, that is, this is sub main. This is the main part of the program, where the line of code that you will write here on line 5, this is what is going to be executed. So here we have written console. Okay, we start with console. Let me type it and show you. Console dot write line. Okay, and I open bracket. Then I open the double quotes because it is a string. Okay, console dot write line. What is being accepted? A string is being accepted. This is my first Visual Basic coding experience. Okay, this is the first time that you're writing your code in Visual Basic. So this is what you will type, for example. And then another additional line of code is console read key. Okay, so this one I have you can see when you use Visual Studio, there are some help that Visual Studio gives you, the programming environment. For example, when I am typing, you can see that it suggests to me, after I put console dot, it suggests to me many different commands that I can use. Okay, for example, I can use write line, I can use read line, I can use read key. Okay, for now, I will be using read key. And I hit enter. Or whilst I was typing read key, I could have pressed tab, and then it completes the programming that I want to write, the code that I want to write. It helps me, it assists me, this programming environment called Visual Studio. Now that we have completed writing our first program, that's great. We wish to run the program. And how to run the program is, you just go here, there's a nice shortcut, and then you just click on this play button that will make sure that your program is being built. You see build started, and here you can see that there are no issues found. That is, there is no errors in your program. Okay, if there were one error, you would have got a pop-up with an error message. And here we can see that this is your first console app where it says hello world, and this is my first Visual Basic coding experience. And then the third line that we have written is console.read key, which is where the program is waiting for you to hit any key, so that after hitting the key, the program will end. Voila, I have hit a key, for example, I have pressed enter, then now the program has ended, and now the command has been passed to the operating system to continue. So this is how we create a console application. That is, we launch, just to do a recap now, we launch your Visual Studio in Windows. That is, you get started when you switch on your computer. If you want to do your programming practice, first thing you go on Start, you search for Visual Basic Visual Studio 2019, or if you have installed 2022, you just click on that. Okay, so you hit on it, and then it will open this interface. Okay, then you have the option to create a new project, or if you wish to continue working on an existing project, you can do so. For example, me, I can close this project. I hit on close, and then I can open another project where you can see I can work on different programming files. Okay, you can see there are lots of lines of code where I can work on different programs. So I just close this project. This was just for you to get an idea. Close, and I continue with my first project. And here I can see that I have saved. You just go on File, Save. Always save File, Save Program, or you hit the shortcut Control S, just like other Windows applications. You hit on Control in your keyboard, and at the same time you press S, then you will be able to save your code that you have been writing. So continuing the recap, so we have created a new project, we have saved the project, then again we can open back that same project to continue work on the programming. So here we have created a program that will display a very simple program where this is the code area. This is the place where you will write your code. Okay, this is what we call a programming environment. That is everything here, the Visual Studio icon, the file, edit, and everything, project, build. This is the programming environment. And here also at the bottom, you can see that when your program, you have written your code, you can see here, I can just push it up, voila. You can see that the program that you have written, whether there are errors, warnings, or other messages that the programming environment wants you to know. Okay, whether whilst writing any code, whether there are issues found, the programming environment will highlight the issue in red and will display here, 1 issue found, 2 issues found. Then your job as a programmer is to fix the issue. Next, we can also see that we can zoom in. Okay, if you wish to, voila, you can zoom in and write the code. On the right, I have shown you have the Solution Explorer. This is the code area. Here on the right, there are object properties, okay, which we use mostly in interface when you are developing an interface in Visual Basic program. But here in console programming, we won't use it much. Here we can see details of errors. Okay, so by now, your homework, your classwork, you just pause this YouTube video and then you install Visual Studio program, and then you type this basic program, you run the program, and the end result should be this. Okay, this is your first objective, your first milestone in this small tutorial part 1, Visual Basic Programming part 1. So you save your project, then you can open the project again. Good. Now, moving on, we will move on to the second part, which are variables. So the second part is variables. So what are variables? A variable is a storage area of the computer's memory. Okay. So think of it like a variable is an empty box, a cardboard box. Now imagine that you have a very large room, and this room you have a lot of boxes. Each empty box is a single variable. Let's suppose you want to add 2 numbers together. So you write the first number on a piece of paper and put the piece of paper into one empty box. Now what you would do is you would write the second number on another piece of paper and put this second piece of paper in a different box. Now, out of all your thousands of empty card boxes, 2 of them contain pieces of paper with numbers on them. To help you remember which of the different boxes hold your number, you put a label on each of the 2 boxes. For example, number 1 on the first label and number 2 on the second label. So what we have done is that, well, we have created a large memory area, which is the room, and in the room you have different boxes. We have set up 2 of the boxes to hold our numbers, that is the 2 variables, and we have given each of these variable a name, which is the labels that you have created, so that we can remember where they are. Variables can be used to store data that is needed at runtime. This is the same analogy like in a box, you have stored data, that is the piece of paper. Just like variables, constants are data holders. However, the content of constant can't change at runtime. So this is a big difference that you must understand. What is the difference between a variable and a constant? It's that a variable, the value of a variable can change at runtime. However, the value of a constant can't change at runtime. So before coming on different data types, we will do some practice in Visual Basic. Okay, so I will open the Visual Studio. I will again open my first project, and let me show you how to add another module. So you go on project and you can add another module, and you can call it like variables.vb. And here you can see in your project, you have created another module called variables. Here, you create sub main, press enter, automatically Visual Studio will create end sub for you. Then you
Hello.
declare your variable using the following Visual Basic code. That is, you use the keyword called dim, D-I-M. Okay, this is a keyword. That is, you will always use this in Visual Basic to declare any variable. Okay, then you put the variable name like number 1. Then you use the as keyword. Then you put the variable data type, which we will do in a slide in a moment. Okay, for example, in the slide we can see that, let me show you that these are the different data types that we can declare a variable. For example, integer. What is an integer data type? It will store a whole number. For example, 78. And if you wanted to store a decimal number like 74.2 and etc., you would declare this variable as double. You can also declare variables as char. For example, if you wish to store one character, like you wish to ask a user, do you wish to continue Y or no? That is, Y stands for yes and no and stands for no. So if you user enter Y and you're storing that in a variable char type. String, we use it a lot, which is text. Text consists of letters, digits, and symbols. For example, hello, or you can also use hello at gmail.com, where you have put a symbol, or hello 2022 at gmail.com. This is text data type. Then we have Boolean, which stores either true or false. So let us continue on Visual Basic. Dim number 1 as integer. Dim number 2 as integer. And then in the program, we assign the variable a value, that is number 1. And now that we have created a box in the room, the box is called number 1, and the box can accept different pieces of paper of integer type. So in the piece of paper, you will write like a number, integer 3. And then the second box, number 2. Notice that it is highlighted in green color, which is telling you that this variable is unused till now. So let us use it. Number 2 is equal to 5. And here you can see that this underline has come. So the process of creating variable is called declaring a variable. Each declaration needs 4 things, that is the dim keyword, the variable name, the as keyword, and the variable data type. A variable can be called any combination of letters and numbers as long as the first character of the variable name is a letter and not a number. Okay? The variable is a one word and does not contain spaces. And the variable can optionally contain underscore. It is good practice to declare all your variables before you use them at the start of each procedure, module, or function. Now, you can declare multiple variables of the same type using the dim statement. Why? In order to save time. For example, instead of writing like integer, dim grade, integer, dim counter as integer, what you could have done is that the three declarations above, you could have written them as dim, index, grade, counter as integer in one line instead of these three lines, which we can then delete. Voilà. Dim index, grade, counter as integer. Here we have declared multiple variables in one line. Now let us try to deep into constants. So just like a quick recap, just like variables, constants are data holders. They can be used to store data that is needed at one time. In contrast to variable, the content of a constant can't change at runtime. That is, it has a constant value. Before a program can be executed or run, the value of a constant must be known. Okay, so let us get started with creating a constant. So we come here and then we declare a constant using the keyword const. Okay, here is the keyword pi. For example, pi is a constant and it is a data type that stores decimal number. So hence we will use the data type double. Okay, just a quick recap. I just show you again the slide. When storing decimal numbers, we use double in Visual Basic. Const pi as double, and then we can assign the value in the same line in Visual Basic, on the same line. Okay, and here I will add a comment where I will explain what I have typed. Create a constant we call pi with a value. Voila. Now I can create other variables like dim radius as double. I give it a value 10. What I have created here creates and here I can directly tell what the value of circumference is. Okay, and then here I will output Voila. So here you can see an asterisk, which means that the program has not been saved. So I just click on File, Save, or Control S, then the asterisk will be gone. So you have saved this file, new program. Then you can run. Oops, there are errors. Well, the error, one error. Okay, because I have added another module called variables. So I would just come here, right click, properties. Now in the properties, I will tell Visual Basic that, okay, don't run this program, but instead run the variables as the main program in the project. So here the properties window will appear. I will select a drop down here. I will select a drop down. I will select variables, and then I will just click on run so that this program will run. Okay, so I will give more examples of creation of variable. For example, here, if you wish to store, to create text, what you will do, you will use dim name as string. Okay. Date. Voila. So these are the different data types in Visual Basic, and this is the way where you can create the different variables of different data types. Okay, string, date, integer, single, and Boolean data type. Now we will now move to the next, which is input and output in Visual Basic. Moving on, let's proceed with the third part of the tutorial called input and output. So let's say you have to write a console application that asks for your name and grade and then displays both on the screen. So let us start with your Visual Basic. Just open your Visual Basic. Voila, this is the studio. Then we do project, add module, and we call it like input output VB. Okay, and then here we write submain, and then we start to declare a variable called name string. And then in order to get an input, we should do an output first. So how we do an output? We do hello. You will see Visual Basic, Visual Studio will help you by putting different colors so that you can understand the code and write your code. Then this is the output. Now the input is the variable called name. We assign it to the value that you will type. This is how we do it. Next, we just output the value on screen. I just press tab and then it appears. And then this is the end of the program. So now I hit on save, Control S, and then I want that this project, what it will run first, I want it to run input and output. Okay, and I hit on save. How I got this is right click, properties, and then here the startup object, I say input output. Now I run. So here the console app will run. Hello, what is your name? John. Hello, John. And that's it. That's it for outputting a text and then inputting the text and then having the text displayed on the screen. Now, next is we will use concatenation in order to join multiple strings into a single string. But there are two concatenation operators called plus and ampersand. Okay, so I will give you an example. Dim name as string, dim grade as integer. So I will ask, hello, what is your name? Then I get the value for name. Now I will ask for, hello, what is, enter your grade. Okay, then grade is equal to console. And then finally, I will output like name, which is the variable. Then I use an and ampersand to do the concatenation. Name, then the text, grade is, and then I concatenate the grade. And voila. Here I will say the name, the value of the name, like John's grade is, and then the grade that is being input here. I just run it. What is your name? John. Please enter your grade like grade 10. John's grade is 10. Voilà. So that is for input and output. Now we will move on to adding comments. Number 4 is adding comments. Now, number 4 is adding comments. So in Visual Basic, if you were to add a comment, it would start with an apostrophe. just like I have shown in the previous slides, where I was coding using apostrophe to document what code I have been writing. So why we should add comments? What is the purpose? See, your Visual Basic Code should be self-documenting. This means that you should use meaningful and descriptive variable or constant names, have a description of each module or subroutine. You should add into comments who is the author of the program. You should add in the comments what is the date of the program creation. See, all of these comments will help in documenting the code, because let's say you are working in a company and there are many programmers, and the code that you have written will be passed on to another programmer. So for the programmer to understand the code, if you have been documenting it, it becomes very easier, for example, to know that, this program was written in this year, and this is the person who has written the program, and, okay, these are the variable names, and it has been documented, and what does the module does. So if these basic documentation are here, it helps. So let us jump into Visual Studio to have a look at how we could add some comments in our code. So for example, this is the module name. At the start, I put this program is used to concatenate words. Sorry, this is, and here I can put some comments. And then finally, voila. So this is how we added some comments, and again we hit on save or Control S so that we document our code.